This is Lyfe Chaser Podcast, where we like to discuss life, the adventures it brings your way, along with the ones you choose to take. Where failure is only an obstacle to overcome.
Wait just a second. When you have friends like this, who needs fucking enemies? That's all I was going to say.
Okay. Thank you.
Where failure is only an obstacle to overcome and to educate us. Our guests will give us a unique perspective into their lives and tell how they've chased life in their own way.
And we're back.
Let's give it up for us.
Let's give it up for us.
We're back.
We're back. We've all been busy.
Took a while.
Took a while. We've all been busy. We have a guest, of course.
We do.
We are back at Hyperactive Audio.
Yeah.
That's refreshing.
The last time we were here, we had Matt on talk about some whiskey, and I learned something from that podcast, and I've applied it into my. You know, when you learn something, you go take it into the world to make the world around you better and yourself better. That's what I did with my whiskey knowledge from that one.
Absolutely.
Start drinking more whiskey.
I drink it straight now.
Yeah.
That's
good.
That's my takeaway.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always liked it straight. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like neat. Is that the what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could still do on the rocks and still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big on the rocks guy.
I mean,
Yeah.
I still think you can
They
do
say it
that.
opens up the flavor.
Deletes it a little bit.
Yeah.
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 Over time, I don't think you're right at first, but as
Right.
the water gets in,
Yeah. Right.
I think so.
So
That's Tyler, by the way.
Yeah, that's Tyler.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Give your name.
Tyler McKenty.
He's a guest at the table tonight, and it's we've been around the world pretty much, all of us, since the last time we were here.
Yeah.
There's a lot to uncover, but we do have a guest.
We do have a guest.
We do.
Do y'all have anything before we get into the guest?
Well, we've camped and we got the Asheville episodes. I think you released the second one today, but a little tidbit from that trip. But since then, we've camped and Monty's been busy. He's been a machine man. And yeah, you want to talk about camping?
We've been on
We did some kayaking.
we've been on a few camping trips since then, and fishing, kayaking,
Yeah,
a little bit of everything.
a little bit of everything.
Cooking.
What was that? What was that place up in North LBO that we stayed at? Was that was Davenport Bay?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was I think it was classified as Catawba Point, that whole area.
What kind of fish did you catch?
We didn't catch one fish. But we tried. The water
So
is very low
Yeah,
this fall.
it's at winter pool already.
But it's like you got winter pool, and then it doesn't rain,
oh yeah, sure.
and then it's lower than it usually is.
Yeah.
Would you agree, Monty? Because
I haven't yet, sure, but
you have been on.
all I can think about now that you didn't catch any fish is like, I mean, you're just not a good fisherman, or
Hey, you didn't let the party die.
No,
You didn't let that party die.
you can't be good at everything. I mean,
hey, there you go.
It is
I
very-
like that. I
it's-
like that way of looking at it. That it is good to look at life that way.
it's very relaxing.
It's
very good to look
even
at
if you
it.
don't catch a fish, buddy.
You're out there, and it's great. But the water is very low this
Did
year.
some midnight kayaking too.
We did.
A little
Yeah.
of that. A little bit of.
Were y'all drinking when you did this?
No, not a drop, my brother.
Try to be responsible when you're
Not a
kayaking.
drop.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing how sound moves at night
Yeah.
Yeah.
without water, but it's amazing how sound moves on water at night. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the difference is, but have you ever noticed that?
Oh yeah.
You can hear conversations from a quarter mile away on the water at night.
The ocean's a little bit scarier at night, too, or any body of water. You know, you
Yeah.
kind of look out there; it's a little bit ominous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of gives you that whole psyche.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah.
I wonder what's below me.
Right.
And it's probably
there?
the size of this body of water and it's going to rise up at one moment.
Yeah.
I never think that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
been-
y'all camp a lot at LBO?
Yeah.
Where about? I mean, I follow you guys and everything.
So
but,
that was North LBO.
Okay.
So if you're going down the trace, you're gonna eventually turn left, and then it just kind of snakes up. It's
Yep.
like a It's a good like 20 minutes off the trace almost, but it's up there. It takes you back up to the north coast almost.
Gotcha.
Of it, but then also Pisgah Point, and also another angle on Pisgah Bay. You went that time, right? It was still that bay, but different angle.
Yeah, yes, it was. Yeah, I think it's the Pisgah Point campground. We're working our way south.
And we got some more suggestions to do. I think what was it, Love Cemetery, maybe Lady Cemetery. One of those
Smith
is like across from Smith's Road.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Or in that area, but
we're working our way south this year.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. Monty, what have you been up to? Work.
And then and then I get off work, then I work,
It's that time of year.
and
We've all been busy.
been trying to do a few projects. So
it's that transition time of year, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not super happy that I don't get to.
It's not boat season anymore.
Well, I mean, we still went and I said the day that you all were camping, I ended up on a pontoon on Barkley. So I was actually looking over that way thinking, I wonder if they're over there somewhere. But, so I mean, not everything's been just work.
Yeah.
But for the most part.
Yeah. Well, busy's good. Work's good.
No, I agree. I mean, it it's good.
So we're back. So we had a little sickness. We had a little camping.
Oh yeah, I've had COVID again since then.
So we've had a lot going on.
We've got allergy meds since then.
We got we've been to Asheville. We got sick. We've been working, and
Going
we're
camping.
back.
And there's another guy in this room that's been very busy lately.
Yes.
Got a lot on his plate.
You bet.
Yeah. So let's hear a little bit
let's
about
get-
Tyler.
Yeah. So
You want to give a background of yourself, your name, and how old you are, and where you come from?
sure. Yeah. So I'm Tyler McKenty. I was born in Draftonville. Been in Marshall County all my life until I went to college. Came back home. We built West Ky Aquaponics after I graduated in 2016. I went to college to play soccer. I'm not using my degree, but that happens sometimes. I'm one of those.
That happens, my
Yeah.
brother.
But thankfully now we're doing aquaponics, and it's something that I really enjoy. Also, soccer coach at Marshall County High School, and an avid waterfowler.
Yes, you are.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
So, growing up in Marshall County, when did you say you graduated?
2012.
2012. I can't even remember.
So
10 years
you're just
ago.
a year behind me.
Yep.
Okay.
Remember
Remember Cullen High School.
Yeah.
All right.
how was Cullen High School? No, I'm kidding. We'll get back to you. I'm just
Yeah. So, tell us about the aquaponics. That's we got some pictures.
How'd it start?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Where did that come from?
So I had a tour today, and I was telling this story earlier. But so it started, I guess, back in 2016. My mom and Steve McCullough, Dr. McCullough, they got together, and I just graduated from college, and came back home. I tried to get some jobs at the plants and stuff like that, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And when you graduate college, you're kind of in that weird spot. Like, what do? Do you want to move away from home? You got friends back home and all that. Mm-hmm. But so I came back home. I love Marshall County, but that's a story in itself. Came back home, worked as a plumber for Jason Thompson because he's the only one that would hire me. Mm-hmm. He was like, if you show up, do your work, what you're supposed to do, and you'll work out. If you don't show up sometimes, and we might have to fire you. And I was thinking to myself, wouldn't you fire me anyway for not showing up? But anyway, I got lucky with him, and I learned a lot about plumbing. There's a lot to it. It's an art. And it's kind of carried over to the aquaponics side of things.
Yeah.
As we saw.
Yeah.
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 no doubt.
We took a tour a couple days ago for contact.
Yeah, we'll
for-
post some pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so from there, Timmy and Steve got together, and we've always been a type of family that wanted to run some sort of business, and with all of our backgrounds, we've really been into some sort of agriculture. We couldn't really put our finger on it. But one night, I think I was still living at home at that time. I told everybody I was going to be a stay-at-home son. So that worked out for a little bit. But so he pulls out this binder where he took a master's class in aquaponics back in 2000, I want to say 2009 maybe. And my mom saw it. They went through the binder and was like, this is what we're going to do. People want to know where their food comes from.
Absolutely.
It's sustainable. You can do it year round. That's kind of our three major things.
Yeah.
And, one thing led to another. 2017, we took the master class from Nelson and Pade. They're the ones that made the system. I've plumbed it all, but they sent it all on 2 semi-trucks to the greenhouse. I unloaded it. And we put it together, plumbed it all in. But we took a master class down there in, what was the city called? Florida, St. George Island, Florida. So we spent a weekend there, and I thought we were just going to go, it's going to be kind of chill and everything. No, we were in there, I want to say 8 hours, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and talk about all the information thrown to you. But after that, we got our certificates in the Masters of Aquaponics.
Mm-hmm.
So 2018, the greenhouse was built. 2019, January, is when we sold our first produce.
Yeah.
And we made, I think, the month of January, we made a whole $25. So
hey, it's a start.
So
we've come a long way.
We've talked about the brew house on this podcast a lot as a place where, so y'all had a big fish fry there pretty early on.
Yep.
That was what
I remember
that clued in a lot of brew house people to what you guys do.
Yeah,
it was a success. I remember it.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's always fun. I love when we do the fish fries at the brew house or whatever. And but yeah, early on, we brew house bought our first tank of fish.
That's awesome.
So
Nice.
It's been that long. Thousands of fish ago, they got our first batch of fish.
I didn't realize it was the first.
Yep.
That's
so
cool.
it's pretty cool. And golly, the brew house.
I remember you being there right there. That's when I first even got introduced to you all being there.
Yeah.
That's where I met Tyler, and I'm sure y'all did too.
Well, I mean, I knew who he was from school, but I gotta say, I didn't really talk to you until the brew house.
No,
and that's the same case with these two.
Yeah, and like in school, I didn't really talk to I didn't say a whole lot. I just kept to myself.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing you then, and that got me up. I saw lettuce and that sort of thing at the same time as you all were doing the fish for that, and I told my wife, I'm going to start buying my lettuce from them if I can. And that was way from the very start.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was exciting knowing that we had local produce, because we have local produce, but aquaponics is, we don't have that. We didn't have that before that. And that was something, like you said, year round. And so, consistent. You can be consistent about it. And it's not like a seasonal, you got to go and like almost panic buy, catch the good stuff while it's there.
You can be as consistent as possible, but there's still things that we have to combat that just happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that it can be an issue.
Yeah.
But well, thank you for all the compliments.
So what kind of issues are you talking about there? I'm curious.
Yeah, so even though we're indoor farming, we try to be as biosecure as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Things still happen. Things still get in, whether it's bloodworms that are aquatic, and they're larvae to fungus gnats. Those bloodworms live down in the water. Once they make it to the stage where they're gnats, they'll get on the lettuce. So there's a lot of different ways that you can combat that. But yeah,
I have to say y'all have a pretty secure facility.
We try to.
And I mean, we washed up and
it was impressive.
Sanitize
up when you walk in.
Yeah, we've got a foot mat that I put this stuff called Virkon on. So anybody walking into the greenhouse, you just kind of scrub your foot on that or feet on that, and supposed to take care of all the germs and stuff, so you won't bring anything in.
I had no idea how
It's
it
an
worked.
impressive display. You
It
were
is.
talking about if you want to run through it, you were kind of talking us through the tilapia tanks
Yeah.
to the water. Like,
Yeah, start from the beginning.
you know, you're a drop of water. Tell us about the journey you're taking.
Yeah, I'll try to do my best in detail. So we've got almost 2 different systems in our greenhouse. We've got a nursery system and our commercial system. With our nursery system, it is mainly a growing area for our tilapia. So we've got 6 50-gallon tanks to start our fish in, and then the water flow will move down to clarifying tanks. And all the clarifiers do is push solid waste down to the bottom and keep the good, clean water on top. After that process, it goes through a mineralization process where there is good bacteria in there, anaerobic and aerobic, to eat down the harmful gases from the fish waste. Then after all those gases are converted, it gets pushed to our grow beds, which we mainly just use for like Swiss chards, herbs, some basil, things of that sort.
Yeah.
And so after that, it goes back to our fish tank, so it's a closed loop system.
Yeah. That's super cool. Like it really just one thing feeds the next.
Yep.
You think
On and on.
Well, I thought when I thought walking in there, the fish are going to be under the plants.
Yeah, I thought that too.
And it was totally different than I thought. It's very,
Right.
like you say, closed system. The fish are here. The water, like you say, goes to the plants, and then you harvest the fish, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and
Monthly.
monthly.
Yes, they're on a rotation, so they'll stay in the nursery system for about 4 months, and they'll get around to 30 grams. And after that, I'll move them over to the commercial system. They'll stay there for another 4 months, so they're 8 months old by the time we harvest, and they're around about 2 pounds, 2.5, 2 pounds. They make for some good fillets.
You
They'll
know,
splash you.
and they will, and they're delicious. They are delicious, but I haven't cooked any myself yet. But every time I've had it at the brew house or had some the other night, we did, and it's been great. And the Monty eats the lettuce
Oh yeah, I love the lettuce.
a lot,
And the kale.
I want to make spring
I-
rolls out of that butterhead.
That'd be good. Yeah.
I love it's a local place that you can get meat, fish, and great produce from.
No
too.
doubt.
And it's right there in Marshall County.
I was at a couple of those fish fries, and it was good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were good sized pieces too.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
We try.
Yeah, very, very large fillets for.
Yeah.
You'll get full. Yeah.
Yeah, and tilapia gets a bad rep because a lot of it's grown in China.
That's what I always thought.
So,
And
and here we actually get them from a aquaculture place down in New Mexico, and they'll overnight them.
Uh-huh.
And
we saw those. Is that where you
yes,
get the...
yes, the tiny little fingerlings. And
Yeah.
we get them when they're super small, 0.8 grams, and so they're bred in the United States,
They're pretty much grown in Marshall County.
grown in Marshall County.
That's it.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And do you know any... I don't know much about tilapia. I think it's high in protein or something, right?
Omegas.
Omegas.
Yes, they're
Yes.
very high in omegas. You get kind of like tuna, like if you're in the Gulf catching tuna and go
Yeah.
out and gets a sashimi or I can't even say it.
Sashimi?
Yeah,
Sh-
that's what I'm trying to say.
Sushimi.
Yes.
Yeah. That oil content from that, it's basically what our tilapia have.
Okay.
Sashimi.
Sashimi.
Shashim. Yeah.
On Letterkenny, they say seshamis.
What is it?
Sashimi.
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 Thanks, Jamie.
I'm not even going to attempt that.
I don't care. It don't bother me to say something wrong like 3 or 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I think it's great though. And that's the first time I took a tour. And you give tours, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. We give tours. It's best to schedule by phone, but yeah, we give tours all the time.
And you sell at the facility, and
Yep.
you also sell where else?
Yeah, you can come into the greenhouse, and come with a refrigerator. If nothing's in there, just holler. We got a doorbell. We also sell to all the IGAs in Marshall County, also in Edible, Banks Market in Paducah, Midtown Market in Paducah. Who else has ours? Some restaurants, Ashley's in Benton, Our Daily Bread in Edible, and we also supply Mayfield schools and Bowling Green schools.
And
that's cool.
Yep.
And I don't know why you don't supply Marshall County schools.
Well,
And now
we've tried.
Leave that up to me. As Marshall County, you need to get your shit together.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But speaking of sashimi, sorry, real quick.
Oh, you got another sashimi
Jump
store?
in there, brother.
Go ahead.
I mean, tilapia. Does anybody eat it raw?
Eat it raw?
Yeah, sashimi.
Oh, eat it like that. Oh, I'm not sure.
I mean, tuna. I know people eat. I mean, I've had tuna many times.
Yes.
Raw sashimi as a sushi. I was curious.
Is there any freshwater fish that's eaten raw? I mean, tilapia. Are y'all saltwater or is it?
Oh, that's another good point.
I was curious about that. I don't know.
Tilapia are
Are you looking that up? Okay, we got
they're
somebody looking that up.
brackish water fish. So back a long time ago, they're native in Nile, the Nile River.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
I didn't know that.
Whatever ocean meets the Nile is brackish water.
Okay.
So they do. So you can eat it raw. From what we are getting from our
Look that shit up, Jamie.
So you can't eat it raw.
Well,
I'm not going
well,
to.
wait.
I'm not sure. I'm not.
I would probably try it because I like raw fish.
Like in
myself,
sushi?
but- oh, I love sushi.
I love sushi.
I mean, they do.
Have you never had tuna sashimi?
They do white.
I can't
Yeah, they
eat-
do white fish on sushi sometimes.
I can't eat a parent. We've tested it a few times, but I can't eat a lot of fish.
Oh, really? I didn't realize.
Iodine or whatever. But
Oh,
I don't think it's a good practice to eat any kind of food that hasn't been cooked. That's just my practice.
well, your practice is wrong.
I've never had tartar or anything.
Well, I mean, but so if you go to like Jasmine, you can order tuna sashimi. I'm just saying in
Sashimi.
reference Tokyo sushi in Paducah, that sort of thing. But you can get salmon that's that way. You can get tuna that way. You can get white tuna. You can get which is awesome too. It's kind of buttery. Anyway,
Can you
sorry.
make sushi?
Well, yeah,
Are we-
you
are
just.
we having tilapia
I mean,
sushi night?
What
Oh,
you don't want it. You don't want me to do it per se because I can't get the fresh fish in that myself that quickly. You want very, very fresh fish.
We know a guy.
Well, but yeah, if he sliced it off, I'd try it.
We'll bring a
I mean,
sushi master. What are they called? Sushi masters?
I wouldn't want it like I would want it like the day you
Harvested it?
harvest. I would want to cut it and eat it then.
Okay.
okay, fresh.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it
Did we-
fried. I'd like.
on ice. You just throw it on ice and that would be it.
Oh, well, it's great fish.
I would try it. I'm not against trying it.
That lettuce you had, like Cole was saying, at the place that to make the wraps with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had so much stuff in there. Tell us all you got in the greenhouse.
We've got one of our best sellers is the butterhead lettuce. It kind of looks like the Peter Rabbit, the storybook. What else do we have? We have a spring mix that we call a wildfire. So it is a little bit of everything. It's got some oak leaf in it. It's got some green leaf and a bunch of different ones kind of to give you, like, if you go to the grocery store and get your spring mix. That's our version of it. Because we can't, all we can do is cut the roots off. We can't chop it up and stuff because that is considered processing.
Right.
So that's our version of wildfire.
It's very good.
We've got a crisp lettuce. It's a summer crisp, and it's a big, like, green leaf lettuce. Good on hamburgers. That's kind of your typical hamburger lettuce. Romaine with hold the E. coli.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You had a bunch of kale too.
yeah, bunch of kale. A lot more people eat kale than I've ever realized. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a superfood.
It is. Yeah. I like kale.
I do too. Yeah, my wife thinks a very good dish with kale, and it is fantastic.
It's a huge. When I walked in, it was like all I saw was green. you know, and it's almost like it makes you feel good when you walk in. It's like, I don't know. It was like,
You had mint and basil too.
yeah.
Yes.
Is
yes,
the mint?
yes,
How do you sell? Like, what do you do with the mint? Because there was a lot of mint. That you had.
there's a bunch of mint. It's mint is very invasive. So for the mint, we'll get. Shoot, I don't even know how much we sell. Not a whole lot, but it's kind of nice. One of those things just to have around.
Yeah.
And
In case you want a mojito.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mint julep.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Rosemary. Our rosemary is very potent, and it's really good to put on some steaks.
Mm.
Kind of give it a little
Oh,
kick.
I've never had rosemary on steak.
Really?
That sounds good.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
put it on there.
What's your day to day? I mean, I always wondered, like, what do you do? Like when you go in the
Yeah.
morning, to give them a rundown of
So
what's it entail?
right, like so like on a daily basis, I'll come in to the greenhouse and first I'll do my walkthrough, make sure everything is okay, make sure there's no pumps that aren't running and the air is going, no leaks, things like that. Make sure the fish are looking good, doing what they're supposed to do, and
Good old quality check.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just kind of peeking around everything, make sure the generator's running or that it's ready to turn on, relay. Then we'll start harvesting. So we'll do our orders in the morning. We call it doing our clean work. So we'll do all that clean work in the morning and figure out where everything needs to go. After that, mainly transplanting. So like today, I transplanted over 1,500 plants to our raft system from our NFT, which is a holding area for those plants, basically. And after that, I'll do my clarifier, drain it.
Is that planting area the one on the, like if you're walking on the left?
Yes, it's on the
We
left.
got a picture of that we'll post.
Yeah. So we over there, it's called an NFT, nutrient film technique, and that's where we do all of our seeding. We seed by hand every day. But in those little queues, we can get, I think, 576 plants in one tray. And although when they're ready to go after about 10 days, we'll move them to the NFT. And when they're in the NFT, they're like teenagers. They're kind of in between babies and being ready to put over in the deep water culture. So they'll stay there for a few days. And then we'll make our way and put them in the back of the rafts and push everything forward.
What's the turnaround time on maybe average? I'm sure they're different, but
Yeah, no, the turnaround time, if you look on a seeding packet, normally in aquaponics in a closed environment, you can get a head of lettuce from start to finish in around, I'm going to say 35 to 45 days. So normally if you're doing a typical soil gardening, it's about 60 days.
yeah, okay. That's that's almost like a batch of a lager right there.
So weekly,
Yeah.
let's just say weekly on I'm just curious.
Sure.
On let's just say lettuce or about how much lettuce do you sell in a week?
Okay, I can get you that real quick. Well,
Just like let's just say Butterhead. Nothing.
Butterhead?
I'm not trying to get you all completely.
sure. Oh, shoot.
Because I know you all's Butterhead's very, very popular.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen the most in stores.
A week.
Carry the
600?
Oh wow,
Wow,
that's awesome.
that's good.
Yeah. I would say 600.
I knew you all were selling that long ago. Like you were shipping it out to supermarkets or something way back in the day, from what I remember.
So back in the beginning when we didn't have the customer base that we have now, it was kind of a struggle to get, somebody to buy it. We were having to take it to Schnucks in St. Louis, and we partnered with what was it? I'm not sure. I forgot. But anyway, we partnered with this distributor, and we were taking our stuff to St. Louis, and they're distributing it throughout Missouri, Evansville, things like that. And we were taking everything or anything from 600 to 800 heads a week. So we were doing that to get by, and we weren't selling it, as much as we can get it for.
Retail, more retail area.
Yeah, it was a lot more wholesale.
You're moving it at least.
Yeah, that's right. We just needed to move it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not doing you any good staying in the greenhouse, is
No.
it?
Nope.
What are we looking at right now? What's that?
That's agribusiness of the year 2021.
Yep. So we were awarded that. I guess it was last year.
Uh-huh.
Yep. At the Farm to Fork dinner,
Yeah.
and yeah, we got that. Which the previous year, we donated our fish and lettuce to that dinner also. But I was getting married, so we couldn't go.
So you all also run it off of solar?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh shoot.
Yeah,
I'm
Just
sorry.
go down and look. You can see the solar panels.
If I give them, what is it? West Kentucky Aquaponics on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
On.
Yeah, I think it's WKY
Yeah.
Yep.
Aquaponics on Instagram.
Yeah, West Ky, not actually
Yes.
spelt out.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm
Right there.
Right there. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yep. So we've got a 30 kW, a 15 kW, and a 12 kW system.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what any of that means. I'm not a electrician or smart, but it's kind of crazy. There's this guy that I know who came up with this system for us. It took him 2 years to develop all his numbers and everything based off of our energy use. And that system is made specifically for our energy use and output and all that stuff. But in the beginning, I was running the lights like crazy, and those pumps pull a lot of energy, and the fans and everything. Our electric bill in the beginning, $2,500 a month.
Oh,
And,
wow.
yeah. And that's just not sustainable for anything, especially a small business that's just starting. So the solar panels were huge for us. We've had them for 2 years now. And last month, our bill, which we're getting a lot of sunlight, but our bill last month for everything was $128.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
Wow.
And the government does not want to hear that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is
Crazy.
great.
That's good.
Yeah, it's wild.
Hey, I support that
Yeah, no doubt.
100%.
That's awesome.
So who was? I would like to know the solar company that
Put that
did
one on
that
the right.
because I've been thinking about doing
Yeah, that
something.
one.
Yeah, Harvest Energy Solutions. They used to be out of Murray.
Ah.
Yeah, it was
But
they were on
yeah.
641.
Yep, but I'm pretty sure they're still a company, but they just pulled out of there.
Okay.
Right, new building or somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now we're looking at a picture. It is a full, happy greenhouse right there. That's like the back left corner when you walk in, looking towards the front door, and the tilapia and everything.
It is really something when you walk in there and to know where your food comes. Because me and Monty's talked about this a bunch, to eat local and to buy local, but this is like down to the. It's one thing, if you have a cow or you know the person who has the cow, you buy the cow and you know where that cow came from. You know where your fish is coming from and you know where your produce is coming from. And you can walk to the door and they'll give you a tour and show you exactly where your food is coming from. And it's right there. And it's beautiful. It really is.
Do plants need to rest?
Absolutely, yes. Plants need to rest. They need to rest in that time when they rest. That's when they're taking up all the nutrients, all the storing all the energy for them to receive the sunlight and photosynthesis the next day. So yeah, they need to rest.
I didn't know that either.
No, you do.
Now you do. It's such an awesome thing. And it's so good too.
I didn't know it either. That's why I asked the question, actually. And my wife is a master gardener as well.
Yeah.
So, but I don't ask these questions to her half the time because
I'm really good at growing grass. That's
he is good at growing grass.
yeah. I think everybody needs to try it, and for sure, if you can, take a tour.
When we were getting our tour, it was kind of mentioned that y'all do a lot of consulting.
Yes, we do. And we are talking about this today. I had a class over from Marshall County, one of my old soccer coaches. He brought his class over, Coach Bagel.
Yeah.
And so we are talking about this today. And, aquaponics is getting a little bit more popular. I don't know if that's correct, the right word for it. But, aquaponics isn't a new thing. It's a very old thing. The Aztecs used to do it back, their marshes down in Mexico City. But
That's what you told me.
Yep.
When I asked you, I said, when I walked in there, I said, the fish weren't in
That's right.
under the produce, and you said that's the way the Aztecs did it, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had the floating islands. So essentially, their floating islands would be our rafts, and they were doing their farming out there, and the fish they were using the fertilizer from the fish to grow their plants, and the roots just hang down in the water.
Right.
In which there's a similar thing, I believe, at Epcot. I think you can take a tour of that and kind of ride through there. And there's fish below the roots, and they have all their plants up top.
Right.
Hey, Marshall County and Epcot have two things in common: good aquaponics and good beer.
I saw that picture right there.
There you go.
There, you give a little. You're about to have You're growing a family right now too, aren't you?
Yep, we are here in about 5 weeks. Kit Carson's supposed to be here.
That's number one right there.
Yeah.
Number one.
I feel like with the weather change, that like gives sort of weird energy into the air. It's like it's a full transition, like inside and out.
New beginnings?
Yeah, new beginnings.
Kind of deal? Yeah, I feel that.
You said you're naming your child what?
Kit Carson.
And we pulled something up there. What we got, Cole?
Just read the good stuff.
Yeah, I'll do the thing here. Christopher.
So he was born in Richmond, Kentucky.
Richmond, Kentucky,
Oh, really?
1809. Christopher Houston Carson, also known as Kit Carson.
That's my middle name.
American frontier. Kit
What?
Houston.
Houston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
American frontiersman,
Kit Carson.
fur trapper, wilderness guide, Indian agent, and U.S. Army officer. Became frontier legend in his own lifetime by biographies and news articles and exaggerated versions of his exploits, and were the subject of dime novels. And we talked about Daniel Boone.
Yes.
We talked about he was a legend in his own time, just
He
like
was.
Kit Carson.
Yep. The more you know.
What is that right there? Is that cauliflower?
Yes.
I've never. Do you all grow that very often anymore?
No, not anymore. We kind of narrowed it down to what our customer base and what they, consistency.
I wish I would have got some of that back in.
And there's something to that. We did the same thing at the brew house. They
Right.
I mean, yeah, that
weren't brewing at the beginning,
Yep.
and got a good chance to see what people drank.
Sure.
And that helps you.
Yeah.
What's funny because I remember that conversation, and Jeff, that owns the brew house, said, everybody tells me don't brew because just sell it, man.
Oh yeah, you're not. There's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point.
But the people that were probably telling him that were wanting to sell their beer as well. I mean, at the same time.
It'd be one thing if we just whiffed the ball, just dropped it, but I don't think we have so far.
Definitely
so far
not.
we've done all right.
Definitely not.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's good beer.
I like the old dirty blonde.
Oh, yeah.
It's a staple.
Yep. I have that T-shirt.
And that's,
Good. Not a lot. There's a limited supply on those t-shirts.
and that's
So a lot of people don't know that Cole's wife does the artwork.
Yeah. All the art for the beer that you've seen. Not every beer has an artwork, but everything you see for art is my wife.
But I really, really enjoyed. She had done the
Oktoberfest.
the blonde.
Yeah.
Swapping over to the Oktoberfest. I guess she put it on Facebook, I believe.
She put it on her Instagram and Facebook, I think.
And I saw that and I was like, man, that's really cool how she did that changeover. If you
Yeah.
just happen to see that,
And
it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
when Cole, a local brewery, they brew beer, half a mile from
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're so close to Aquaponics.
Yeah, maybe if that. Yeah, it's super close, just right down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of cool bringing everything together. It's kind of full circle.
Yeah.
I love local.
Got the first batch of tilapia, did a fish fry.
Yeah.
And that was how I found out about you guys, because that event got scheduled, and then I asked,
Right.
who's that? Oh, they're right up the road.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for everybody for that. That was a good time.
But you're not only produce farmer and a tilapia farmer, but you're also an outdoorsman, which we all are too. So
We touched on that at the beginning,
Yeah.
a little bit of an outdoorsman.
So
Yep.
tell us about your outdoor adventures. You're about like us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all busy all the time. We all have jobs, but we all have hobbies and outdoor stuff. Monty's probably Monty and Cole are probably the busiest out of us three, but Monty is. But
I don't know.
He still runs, I don't know how many miles a week, and Cole has a job, but he still goes hiking and camping.
Yep. And
I'm the same way. What do you do outside of producing food for the community?
Yeah. So I'm an avid outdoorsman, a big waterfowler mainly, and a conservationist. No, I love duck hunting. That's probably my passion, duck hunting on our lakes around here. There's a great resource that is just right down the road that, I kind of overlooked growing up because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The river or the lake?
The lake,
Barkley,
in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And you know McKell, who we've had on, and so
you also guide.
Yeah, we just started a guiding business this past spring. It's called Kentucky Layout Adventures, and what we do is we take people, groups of 3 or 4, and we layout hunt on our lakes here at home.
He was at the top of his
I didn't know that.
Instagram. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
We were kind of checking it out. So.
Yeah, Tyler, if you could give the handle there for Instagram for your, you can give it for all of it, your personal or your.
I'll give you my personal. It's a Diver Dude 7. It's all lowercase, no spaces. And the Kentucky Layout, KY Layout Adventures LLC on Instagram.
Let's see. It says high quality layout hunting of waterfowl
And carved
overhand
decoys.
carved decoys.
And I've seen, if have y'all seen his carved decoys?
That's what I've seen. I didn't realize it was tied to the guiding.
Yeah.
Those carved decoys, you do that by hand?
Yeah. So
Look at that. if you go to his Diver Dude 7 on is that right?
yes.
On Instagram, that I couldn't do that.
No, I couldn't do that.
A year ago, you should have seen what they look like. Golly.
And I saw this the other day. You were
Sorghum.
Yeah, so Kyle and Bob Johnson and Sharp, they own Kennemead Farms, and they farm sorghum. They got some of the best sorghum in the country. I think they take their sorghum to get judged and all that, and so yeah, it's really, really good.
Are they just now producing it pretty much? Is this the harvest time?
Yes, this is harvest time. So the other day, we went over there. Actually, I took the JV Marshall County soccer team over there, and he went through with his tractor and cut it, and we went behind him and stripped it and loaded it on the trailer. I think we did about 1,000 pounds.
And that's what they make molasses out of, right?
Yes, molasses and sorghum. I'm not sure what the difference between the two.
When do you make some beer with it?
I've done that growing up, where they have the mule or the horse going around in a circle, and they got the vats, and you kind of burn it off or steam it off. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's it's a.
So that's local too. I'd love to buy some of that.
Yeah, you can buy it.
I don't hear people doing that much anymore.
No, it's kind of like an old timer thing. It's kind of like the whole carving decoy thing.
Yeah, and
I'm kind of into that stuff. But yeah, you can buy it. He's got it at Shoporama. He actually invites the community to the cooking. It's on the old Sharp School Road.
Mm-hmm.
And
was that on like KET or something?
It could have been.
Yeah, I believe it was on. I believe they were on like KET at one point in time, showing how to do that, and just like you talked about, like a mule walking in a circle or whatever it was.
Well, it kind of squeezes the juices out of the stalk. Yeah,
and that's what you make your syrup out of.
Yeah, I've done it a few times growing up, and
then they cook it out.
Yeah, and it's got vats. It's like 2 or 3 vats, and it rolls down, and then at the bottom it's very thick.
Yeah.
But very cool. I love that stuff.
I guess I'll go by Shoporama. That'll be the easiest way.
Probably.
But
My granddad loved sorghum molasses.
We've talked about this with biscuits.
My granddad, he liked. I remember after dinner, everything was cleaned up, and he'd still want something to eat.
Yeah.
And he'd always have sorghum molasses, and I could hear him at the table, and he'd get a plate out of the cabinet, and he'd throw a plate on the kitchen table, and he had biscuits or cornbread or whatever was left over from supper, and you could hear him open a jar of molasses. He poured it on, and you could hear it, put butter on there too,
scraping,
and he'd mix the butter with the sorghum molasses and slop it up with a biscuit. And I always remember that. Sorghum. A lot of people eat honey now. Honey's a big thing now, but sorghum's pretty good. And you can, I don't know where you can probably buy it co-op and
places like that.
Shoporama, right?
Shoporama.
I'm going to Shoporama now. And that's, I mean, I want to get some of this.
Yeah.
I'm just, my wife.
Harvest time.
My wife loves sorghum too. So I knew they were somewhere around because, like I said, I'd saw it on KET, but I never knew where to buy or whatever for that.
Yep.
So that's cool.
So you make ducks too?
Yep. I make some ducks. I tried to make some ducks.
Yeah.
We have one here before us.
Yep. So that is a bluebill, or I think it's, if you want to get technical, scop. And it's made out of black cork, basswood head.
Gonna hold it up. Let the cameras do what they do.
It's a fat duck.
It is fat.
It's supposed to look juicy too.
That's a gunner. So all these birds that I make will be shot over. I'll take them out every day. But they're supposed to be made thick and kind of durable.
Looks good.
Oh, thank you.
You carved that. You carved that whole thing, or just the head, or do you do the whole thing?
Yeah, everything. So, so the body just comes in a slab of cork, and it's black cork. It's a little bit different from tan cork, like you would get out of a wine stopper. Mm-hmm. Black cork is less dense, and it's very messy. But so the black cork floats really well. And I'll put a bottom board on that black cork with a keel, and I'll put some BBs down in the keel to give it some weight. So when I throw it out in the water, it will self right. Mm-hmm. And head is a basswood. Back to the body. So the black cork is very porous. And ooh, did you hear that?
Beautiful.
That's one of the best sounds in the world. But black cork.
Sorry for getting off subject.
Oh man, black cork. So it's very porous. It's got holes in it. So I need to fill all those holes in. I'll take Top Bond 3, and make a little slurry out of it with water, kind of dilute it a little bit, and then I'll throw some cork dust, sawdust on there on that body. Let it set, get nice and hard, and come back with sandpaper, take those edges off, and it makes a really good durable decoy.
So from start to finish, how long does it take you?
Well, now that I have a sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
A Fordham, which is do you know what a Fordham is?
I don't.
No,
I don't.
Well, it's basically an oversized Dremel, and I've got a 3rd horsepower Fordham, and now I can carve a decoy in about. I can get a whole one done in a day, probably painted and finished in 2.
Nuts.
The head and all.
The head and all.
We're gonna commission a Lyfe Chaser decoy.
Yeah,
to go with Beefy the buffalo.
Beefy might be out.
Well, big beefers on my mantle still right now.
Yeah, you think you can do a buffalo?
Oh, yeah. How about a buffalo head decoy?
Really?
Ooh.
So, are you familiar with buffalo head ducks?
No, I'm not.
All right, so buffalo heads, they're the smallest North American duck, right next to teal. They live in trees, so when they go up to the boreal forest, the northern flicker, which is a woodpecker, has all its holes. Mm-hmm. Those bufflehead will go to those holes and nest. They're cavity nesters. So buffalo head gets its name, bulbous head, and if you look it up, it is referred to as the buffalo head.
Really?
Yep, and kind of fun fact, that's kind of my duck. I've got several duck decoys that I've commissioned some famous waterfowl artists to do for me, and it's all of the buffalo head.
I've never heard of
So that's your favorite?
Them and bluebills. Buffalo heads they're just kind of squirrely. They're very pretty.
It is.
Go along with your the buffalo theme.
Hell yeah.
That one's cool with the bluish green on the front
I can make you one of those.
and a little purple.
Are those
It looks like-
native to here?
Well, they're not native, but we get a bunch
Get
of
'em
They
migrating?
winter. Yeah, they winter here on our lakes.
Huh. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen one of those in the wild.
Very tasty.
How do you cook your duck?
A few different ways. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, it kind of depends what you want. I'll normally just soak them in buttermilk for about 24 hours. These ducks are a little bit more gamier because they're diver ducks. They're not your typical dabbler.
Right.
So a lot of divers get a bad reputation, but if you prepare them correctly, kind of like just with anything else, then, you can kind of make lemonade
Yeah.
with what you got.
Yeah.
So buttermilk for 24 hours.
Buttermilk, that's it. And then I'll marinate them in something, whatever you like.
Right.
Worcestershire, of course. Maybe throw some bourbon in there. Then you gotta get something sweet, and then something for acidity. Maybe some lemon juice. And anyway, you can soak them in that for as long as you want. And poppers, can't go wrong with anything wrapped in bacon.
I've had a lot of duck wrapped in bacon and then just thrown on the grill.
You
Yep.
can't. If you throw bacon into just about anything, I'm in.
Yeah. What? I do like duck that. Whoa, and with a jalapeno.
Yes, cream cheese, jalapeno,
yeah,
cheddar
yeah,
cheese.
yeah.
You can make a reduction sauce, cherry reduction sauce.
Well, I'll tell y'all, you're going to be jealous. But Tyler asked me to go duck hunting with him. I mean, November.
Bring us something good, huh?
I'll invite everybody. Come on.
But they can't. I mean, it's just me and you.
That's okay.
He wants us to be jealous.
But you got to be honest with us about how bad he is.
Okay.
Do you want to? I mean, do you have a good shotgun?
No, not at the moment.
I'll let you borrow mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, and then that
Yeah.
just for the, I don't know, I've got a Winchester shotgun. It's
There we go. There we go.
automatic
There you go.
shotgun.
There we go. We're going
It's
to
a
bring.
Super X
Oh yeah.
2 or 3.
Yep.
One of those I have.
Yeah. You
can
I don't
have a
even know
muzzle
what I have
loader.
anymore.
I don't have much.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, I actually don't. When he said something about that, what'd you say? The veterans.
Oh yeah. So there's a Veterans Weekend. Kentucky this year. A lot of states do this. They'll have a Veterans Weekend, and it's kind of like a youth weekend. It's just dedicated to you, and you can go hunt. And I think this year it's weekend before season or something like that. But just veterans, and I said something to Chase about coming. I was going to take my dad and granddad, but it's a pretty cool thing. Again, I don't remember Kentucky ever doing this.
No.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
They
cool.
have they've got a lot of good incentives for veterans and things, but I don't remember anything like this specifically.
And so I'm going.
Do it.
Good. You can
With
borrow my
it,
shotgun.
with the outfitter.
You-
What was the name of it again? Your outfitter?
Kentucky Layout Adventures.
Yeah.
and if there's a Lyfe Chaser decoy by then, that'll bring home the bacon right
That's
there.
right. That's
will.
right.
It will be floating.
Bring home the bacon that's wrapped in the duck you kill.
Yes.
Hopefully.
With the cream cheese and jalapeno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have to do the cream cheese part
Yeah.
of it, but just the bacon and jalapeno with a toothpick through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he's an
Cooked on the
actualized
grill.
man
I like that.
with governance on his own diet.
Yeah, I don't need no cream cheese.
Oh man.
That's a great story, and that's a great life you're living.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about to get more exciting, like we said.
Yeah. In what?
Yeah.
5 weeks.
5 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah, that hunting's done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. My parents are leaving for Canada tomorrow, and I'm at home, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
That's all right.
Let me
Yeah, he says he's taking you hunting, but once that
yeah.
baby comes, man, who knows?
Who knows? I mean, but I met them at the brew house, just like a lot of people I know. And like I always say, good people meet good people. They like gravitate towards good people, and they are great people. Him and his wife, and him and his mom and stepdad. I've never met better people. I mean, they're up there, top shelf people.
I've met them briefly. They really do seem like awesome people.
And I'm very happy for you with your growing family. And
Definitely.
yeah.
So we had a little break, and there's a break on top of the break. We discussed a few topics, one of them being the beast of LBL.
The beast.
The beast. So I'll tell.
We mentioned this before.
I'll tell the story.
Sure.
And then we were like we said earlier, we were camping in the north end of LBL around Davenport Bay, Catawba Point, if you will, if you won't. And there was one point in the night, it was late in the night, by the fire, tents set up, and heard like leaves scurrying. Leaves were scurrying, I promise. And these were like leaves that were close. So like whatever was running away had kind of like taken its time to get close.
I heard footsteps, big footsteps.
And yeah. So it was like, but something scurried away. But that brings us to the topic, because that was an area of interest concerning the beast of LBL.
Yeah.
What is the beast of LBL?
What do you know about it, Tyler?
Remind us.
The beast. So actually, it was, maybe over 10 years ago. There used to be a book in Shopperama, actually. Shout out to Shopperama.
Again.
And we want free T-shirts.
Yeah, we'll get those.
Shelby, stop. Make it happen.
But anyway, so there's a book called, what was it? It was about the legends of Kentucky. And the Beast of LBL was one of them. And so you'll have to help me with this, Cole, but supposedly it was a shaman of Cherokee.
I'd love to help you. I don't think I can.
There's a lot of different stories and folklore, but
I'm actually pretty new to the topic.
Oh, really?
As far as the beast of LBL goes, what do you know about it?
I'll tell you the story I heard from word of mouth, and I knew a guy that his dad was a TVA law enforcement officer in the 70s.
yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you the story I heard. It wasn't from a book.
I bet he looked like this.
And he had a mustache.
And it was like Chase's. It was huge.
And he was a badass.
Very 70s of him.
All right. So there was this is all word of mouth, hearsay. There was a campground on the north end of LBL, and Tyler can probably pin down the point where it was, but there was a campground and there's some campers there, and something happened. Something came into the camp, and it was pretty much a
Massacre.
Yeah. You think of a bear coming into Yellowstone or something. There was a massacre, and then there were some survivors, and whatever happened. But it was the law enforcement officers that one of the ones that was there at the scene ended up leaving the scene after everything and went to that gas station
By 24.
By 24, and then there was other witnesses that saw him come in and talk to him and said, "What are you so freaked out?" And he was pretty freaked out, and he said something happened in LBL that can't be explained. And if you go ahead, tell me what you know.
Yeah, so I've listened to that account from the cop, and that is, you can find it on the internet or YouTube. But there's another account by supposedly one of the children that were in the camper at the time. They're from, I think, Indiana, somewhere in Indiana, and they came down here frequently to visit during the spring to LBL. But there was 3 of them. brother, sister, mom, dad, and then you got this the kid that's randomly with them, friend down the street, whatever. But they pull into the park, get their site set up. I'm not exactly sure where all this is supposed to take place, but the area is around North LBL. But they get all their gear set out. They're in their mobile home, and they get out. I think it was the man and the boy, his son. They get out and they start getting things ready, throwing wood and getting their fire ready to cook dinner. And all of a sudden they hear this just awful noise. And he described these things as like more of a wolf, not so big, not such wolfish, but like if a coyote was on its hind legs, a little bit bigger, a little bit scarier. And the point of view I'm telling it is from that friend down the street. And anyway, apparently, killed both of them outside. That kid rolled underneath the RV, hung up there, until everything was gone. Did whatever to the woman and her daughter in the camper. And after that, I don't know how long or anything, but he found somebody driving down the road, I believe, and that's when all the investigations started. But the way that he described the creatures is a lot different than what I picture it, and it kind of makes it more real.
Multiple creatures?
Two. Sorry, yes, that is a key point. Two creatures is what they described.
It's weird that you always hear beasts, but it was
Right.
beasts.
Beast in that situation. So this is kind of a legend, but you know how it goes with stories. There's bits and pieces that may have some truth to it. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, but I'm into that stuff.
But that happened, regardless of the description.
Well,
what happened. People lost people there.
There was a campground on the north end of LBL that's not there anymore because they pretty much demolished it or shut it down after that. And the theory is they covered it up.
Right. You may know a little bit into this, Chase, but apparently they brought in the National Guard and all of that stuff, and supposedly it was a cover-up, but
Yeah.
Well,
the friend I know, his dad was a TVA law officer at the time, and I met him and I asked him about it, and this guy talked to me, and he was a really nice guy, and he told me a bunch of stuff about LBL, and I brought that up one time, and he wouldn't even talk about it. So he wouldn't say yes or no. He wouldn't give a...
I know a good spot that could be.
Me too. I know a few.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's one of those things that, like Bigfoot, it's like, or...
Because we've done North-South Trail.
Yeah.
And there's a few places in there that I would think, man, this would be a good kind of camp spot area.
And there's a few places on the Barkley side that the North-South Trail runs on the Kentucky side of LBL. On the north side, there's spots on Catawba side that, and even down before you get to 68 on down around Energy Lake and what's north? What do you call north?
Yeah, it's tough to say.
Yeah, what do you call north in LBL?
If it's not in Tennessee,
right.
I mean, it's tough to say.
That is a large piece of land.
I'll do some research again, and we'll revisit it.
So it's funny though. We're talking about Beast of LBL, but there's a lot of stories also of Sasquatch top activity as well. I think more to the south end, from what like we talked about this.
Yeah.
But when I used to love ghost stories, that sort of thing, and when the internet first came out, you could catch a lot of that stuff. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and so I read a lot back then, and I remember. On the north end, them also talking about Sasquatch activity and people getting ran off by something throwing rocks or something in the night time.
There's definitely a bunch of stories of weird stuff happening in LBL. We can all agree.
Yeah.
And I just haven't seen a lot of it myself. Being out there a bunch and being out there at night and being out there alone, I haven't seen it. But I'm not saying who knows.
Right. What about like the things that people claim to see that are possibly real? Like I've heard of people saying they've seen, mountain lions, panthers, bears in LBL.
Well,
talk about the bears, right?
The bears, I think, are moving back in because of the warmer climate that we're getting. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to not be in hibernation. They're looking for food. Definitely, they had a spotting in Caldwell Christian or Trigg or something a few years ago. Yeah. Somebody spotted a bear group over in Katie's area a few weeks ago. I think they're moving back in where they always were. We listened to Hope Collier podcast on Clay Newcomb's Meat Eater, and they were in Mississippi, they were in Alabama, they were in Kentucky.
Yeah,
big time.
For a long time, just like buffalo were in Kentucky, elk were in Kentucky. Maybe we had a cold snap in the last 100 years. I think they're moving back in. Bears are, and I hope they do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I'd love to see a bear run across the road.
A black bear.
Now, panthers and stuff like that, when you're hiking and running, we don't have to worry about that now. If you're walking down a trail in LBL and you see a black bear, it's going to be a little shocking the first time. In 50 years, if they move back into, it's going to come more of just a regular thing.
And they're not normally out to. No. They're much more scared of you than you.
I think they used to be here. Yeah. I think that we killed them off and scared them off or whatever.
For sure.
They're in Arkansas, they're in Tennessee, and they're up in Pennsylvania and Ohio. I mean, what makes us say they're not going to come back in if they can?
The Cumberland Gap, when we went there last September, this time of year last year when we went there, you have to watch out. There was a black bear in that area.
Yeah, and I hope they do. I hope they
definitely.
Do. That's just me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
pretty cool. The boar are moving in though. That's what I don't like.
Well,
definitely.
Yeah, that's a conversation.
Yeah, we've had that a few times, and that's fine too. I mean, that's just part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, LBL's a great place, and Kentucky's a great place, and
but they kill crops. Is the
problem with them. I mean,
that's why you can get in a helicopter and shoot them with the AR.
That's why you got conservationists and hunters to take care of that kind of thing.
Checks and balances.
Do we hit you up on the? You are a soccer coach.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where
we're running short on time, so I want you to hit up what you're doing right now.
Yeah. So right now I am the head coach of the JV at Marshall County and the assistant coach of varsity. I'm also a middle school coach. So right now we're about to wrap up the season. We got districts coming up and then hopefully region. But that's what I do in some of my time.
The very short period.
Yeah, with some of my time.
You got any questions? I got a question. What can you give your?
We do this. We do this often.
Yes, but. And here's a bell for Monty, but you're about to have a kid. Your family's growing. What would you like to tell is it daughter?
Yes.
Daughter.
Yep.
If you could tell them anything about your life or wisdom or anything right now, it's going to be on record forever. Give some wisdom or anything you want to say right now about life, anything.
Oh man, it put me on the spot. Shoot.
That's me.
Golly.
Every time he asks.
Every time.
Got me.
You want me to go to Monty first?
we usually we can come back to you if we need to.
I'll try to be original. Life is too short to be unhappy. Chase your dreams because you never know what you can achieve. Make your goals achievable but realistic, and drink a beer at the Dan Brew House.
That's right, and Daddy's always right.
And Daddy's always right. Yeah.
Monty?
I'll come back to Monty. Cole?
I'm kidding. I'll do it. I like about the habit. you know, I think about happiness a lot, and happiness is a choice. And
Yes,
I think a lot of people don't understand that there can be tough times in your life, but happiness is always, always, always a choice. And you know, you got to reach for it sometimes in order to get it, but it's always a choice.
I agree.
I think that's a takeaway.
Yeah,
I like
absolutely. I mean, there's going to be rough days, and sometimes you might have to struggle to find that happiness, but it's always there. It's a choice. I agree. Coleslaw.
I think, you know, first of all, eat local. I think that's a good
Yeah,
one.
I like that.
And yeah, serve yourself while serving others. Aquaponics, serve the community, but also chase a dream. It's everyone kind of benefits from that one. So, you know,
Well said.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
chaser.
Yeah, I mean it's always the same. I've never regretted living wild and free. I mean, every day you're going to have some kind of wisdom come out every day. If you make bad decisions, try to make good decisions, because good decisions are your future. Your decisions determine your future. So, but you have to live wild and free. After the last 2 years we lived through, you have to live free. And if you're going through hard times, you got to run into the storm like a buffalo, turn your nose into it, because the quickest way out of it is through it. 1,000% agree with that. And I mean, like Cole said, local. I mean, we're all about local. And check out. Can you give all the plugs for everything?
So we've touched on a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 second. So Facebook is West Ky Aquaponics, and Instagram is West Ky Aquaponics.
Good deal.
What about your outfitter?
It is
I'm the same way.
On the spot there.
Yeah.
Kentucky Layout Adventures. I think that's
Yeah.
Yep.
KY Layout Adventures. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, check our boy out. It's a
Definitely.
it's a great place, and if you want to eat local food that you know where it comes from, they'll give you a tour. And yeah, I mean, what a great thing they have. We eat it a lot. I know Monty does. So
Definitely.
And congratulations from Lyfe Chaser.
yes,
5 weeks away,
yes,
give or take.
we'll get a little T-shirt.
Heck yeah.
for it.
Heck yeah, there you go. Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it. I've been wanting to do this. This is awesome. I
Yeah.
really like what you got going on. It's
Well,
good.
We'll
Like
be
I
happy to have you back on.
Yeah,
too.
your invitation's open.
Yeah.
So anytime you want to come back on.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
And anything else?
I think I'm good, brother.
Take it away.
It's good to see everybody again, and we'll be back soon. And live wild and free and run into the storm. Lyfe Chaser out.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Salute.
Cheers, boy. Salute.
Live wild and free. We just want to thank our sponsors, which include Hyperactive Audio, The Dam Brew House, Studio 270, Kentucky Lake Equine Hospital, and Shawnee Bay Resort.